So hello everyone, today we will discuss about human heart. So here you can see the picture that human heart has four chambers, two artery and two ventricle. Okay, right side of heart is completely separated from the left side. Clear? So the right side of heart that is completely separated from the left side. So here you can see different arteries and veins which helps to for blood flow. So one by one we will discuss about all these arteries and veins. Okay, like you can see here that heart is divided into four chambers. Okay, so one by one we will discuss about this. So human heart, the right side of heart receives blood from body and pumps it to the lungs, and left side of heart receives blood from lungs and pump it to the body. Okay, so this is how all the sides have to perform their function. So heart muscle, it is made up of cardiac muscles. Cardiac muscles can carry contracting regularly without resting. Okay, so one by one we will discuss all the parts. Like first is vena cava. So inferior and superior vena cava collect deoxygenated blood, okay, from tissues and carry it to the heart. Fine. So this is the function of inferior vena cava. So inferior vena cava collects blood from lower parts of the body and delivers it to the right atrium. So this is the function of inferior vena cava. Okay, it collects blood from lower parts of the body. So next is superior vena cava. It collects blood from the upper part of the body and delivers it to the right atrium. So this is the function of superior vena cava. Okay, it collects blood from the upper part of the body. Fine. Then next is right atrium. So right atrium receive blood from the vena cava. The blood is pumped into the ventricles when the atria contracts. So the blood is pumped into the ventricles when atria contracts. So this is the function of right atrium. Now next is tricuspid valve. So this atrioventricular valve separates the right atrium from the right ventricle, and the valve is made up of three flaps, that is called heart strings, and these heart strings allow valves to open only in one direction. So this is how the tricuspid valve perform their function. The next is right ventricle. So the right ventricle receive deoxygenated blood from the right atrium, and blood is pumped into the pulmonary arteries as the ventricle contract. Okay, and semilunar valves present at the base of the pulmonary artery that prevent backflow of the blood. The next is pulmonary vein. So the blood is carried back to the heart from lungs by pulmonary vein. So this is the function of pulmonary vein, that the blood that carried back to the heart. So the pulmonary veins help to perform backflow of the blood. Then left atrium, deoxygenated blood from the lungs is collected by the left atrium. So left atrium is helpful to collect the oxygenated blood. Okay, oxygenated blood from the lungs, and it opens into the left ventricle. The next is aorta, that is the largest artery in the body, and it carry oxygenated blood from the left ventricle to all parts of the body. Clear? So this is the aorta, you can see here in this picture. So human heart is a muscular organ that provide a continuous blood circulation through the cardiac cycle and is one of the most vital organ in the human body. Now we'll discuss the cardiac heart wall. So the heart is located between lungs in the middle of the chest, and double layer of membrane called pericardium. Outer layer is called epicardium and inner layer of pericardium is called endocardium. Okay, so now we'll discuss the layers of the heart, like pericardium, endocardium. You can see here in this picture the position of heart, that it is situated between the lungs. Okay, Now we'll discuss the layers of the pericardium, like epicardium, myocardium, endocardium. You can see here clearly in this picture, that is how the different layers of hearts are arranged. Okay, now we'll discuss the chambers. So heart is divided by septum into two halves, and the halves are in turn divided into four chambers, like upper chamber divided in left and right atrium, and lower chamber that is divided into left and right ventricles. Okay, and the left ventricle is the largest and strongest chamber in the heart. So you can see here in this picture, that is ventricle is the largest part, upper side is arteries and lower side is ventricle. Okay, and it is divided into four chamber. So you can see here left atrium and left ventricle. Okay, so now the valves. So heart valves are flap like structure, and it is divided into the tricuspid valve, pulmonary valve, mitral valve, and aortic valve. So function of tricuspid valve, that regulate blood flow between the right atrium and right ventricle, and pulmonary valve control blood from the right ventricle into the pulmonary arteries. Okay, and mitral valve lets oxygen rich blood from your lungs pass from the left atrium into the left ventricle. And aortic valve opens the way for oxygen rich blood to pass from left ventricle. Okay, now the cardiac conduction. So cardiac muscle cells contract spontaneously uh, into systolic and diastolic. So these contractions are coordinated by sinoatrial node. Okay, and impulse are then sent down the arterioventricular bundle to the left and right ventricles. Clear? Through SA node. So SA node send electrical signals. So here you can see here the presence of SA node and atrioventricular node. RA refers to right atrium, RV is right ventricle, LA left atrium, and LV is left ventricle. So here you can clearly see the different chambers of heart, and how. So this is systolic and diastolic. So cardiac cycle is the sequence of event that occurs when the heart beat. So it is divided into two phases, diastolic and systolic. So one by one we will discuss about diastolic and systolic phase of the cardiac cycle. So first we'll discuss the diastolic phase. It is the right and left atria fills with blood. Okay, as blood collects into the upper chambers. Okay, so from in diastolic phase, the blood is collected from the upper chamber, and contraction push blood to the tricuspid valve. And in systolic phase, second part of the pumping phase, where the signals from SA node travel along a pathway of the cell to the ventricles. Okay, and when blood is pushed from right ventricle into the lungs, it picks the oxygen rich blood. Now the pulmonary circulation. So pulmonary circulation include the oxygen rich blood. Okay, the portion of cardiovascular system which transport oxygenated blood. And systemic circulation, it is the portion of cardiovascular system that transport oxygenated blood away from the heart. So this is the function of systematic circulation. Okay, it transport oxygenated blood. Clear? Now next we'll discuss coronary circulation. The heart muscle, like every other organ or tissue in your body, needs oxygen rich blood to survive. So blood is supplied to the heart by its own vascular system, that is called coronary circulation. Okay, so here you can see in this picture, okay, pulmonary artery, superior vena cava, presence of all different types of arteries. Okay, and abdominal aorta. So next is the diagram of coronary arteries. So you can see here the biggest part is called aorta, then presence of right coronary artery, left anterior descending artery, left coronary artery, and circumflex artery. So now we'll discuss the parts of the heart which we already discussed, like pulmonary vein, right atrium, tricuspid valve, right ventricle. So this is, you can see the position of the all the valves and atrium. So the heart has, we have discussed that the heart has divided into 4 chambers. Okay, 2 chambers on each side of the heart. Okay, we know that, and each chamber is separated by the valves. The 2 chambers on the top are called atria, and 2 chambers on the bottom are called ventricle, and septum, that is the thick wall of the muscle that separates two sets of the chambers. So septum, that separates arteries and ventricles. Okay, it is the layer that is present between the arteries and ventricles. So artery and ventricles will work together to pump blood. So arteries and ventricles that work together for the flow of blood, okay, from all the body parts to the heart. The blood in our body is used over and over again, and movement through heart and around the body is called circulation. Okay, left side of your heart, fresh, clean, oxygenated blood, and right side contain the deoxygenated blood. The arteria, ventricles, and valves work together to pump blood. Okay. So next we'll discuss the other parts of the heart. The blood in our body is used over and over again. Its movement through heart and around the body, that is called circulation, which we have discussed, and clean oxygen rich blood is pumped around all our body. Okay. Next we'll discuss the cells create carbon dioxides and other waste that must be removed to keep the cell healthy. The blood is responsible for picking up the waste, delivery it to the kidney where the except for the carbon dioxide is removed from the body. So kidneys are useful to uh, filter the blood. Okay, then the blood with its load of carbon dioxide returns to the right side of the heart. Okay, so the carbon dioxide generated blood, that is returned to the right side of the heart, and right side of heart pumps the blood to the lungs to get the oxygenated blood. Okay, the heart uses a network of tubes to get blood throughout the body, and these tubes are called blood vessels. Okay, and blood vessels that carry the fresh blood away from the heart, that is blood that contain waste back to the heart, that is called veins. Okay, so the you know that the sound of heartbeat is of love dove sound. Okay, so healthy heart makes a love dove sound. Love sound happens when the blood have pulse between arterial and ventricle, and dove sound happen when and pulmonary valve. So you can feel your heart beating in your several different areas of the body. Okay, like you can see the heartbeat in your wrist, and each beat is caused by the contractions of your heart. So sometimes you see the heartbeat in your different parts of the body, like you can see your heart beating in your wrist also. Okay, the most children are born with a healthy heart. Just like you need to exercise your leg and arm muscles, you need to exercise your heart muscles at least 15 to 20 minutes exercise each day. You will get a good workout. Okay, and remember, you have to eat a variety of healthy foods to avoid lot of fatty, and also avoid a lot of fatty food. The heart is an involuntary muscle. The human heart averages 100,000 beats daily. So each beat your heart fills with blood, and then it contracts to pump the blood through the body. So this is all about the function of heart. Hope you like this video. See you in the next video.